Have you or your loved ones had a family torn apart by the family court system?
And the fact is that the United States Constitution is the Supreme.
Those are applied in every state because they came from the United States Supreme Court.
Each week, constitutional scholars Ron and Sherry Palmer take the family court system head on.
For violating the rules. They've said it over and over and over again.
We're saying parents have rights. Give them equal access to what they need.
So equal time means each parent's going to influence the child equally.
Result, the kid is actually harmed because they haven't got full access to each parent, and suddenly now
criminal, the Supreme Court said we have to tell the criminal what their rights are, or an accused. We have to Mirandize them, tell them what their rights are. But when you come into divorce, nobody tells you what your rights are, and the Supreme Court has said you cannot waive your rights unless it's knowing and an intelligent waiver. And that doesn't happen in family law.
And that's the thing about what we're talking about here today is, as you brought up, when they're sitting in mediation, the reason so many of the parents are going ahead and agreeing to things, which, by the way, the attorneys think is a win and the judges think is a win because it doesn't end up in the court,
Right.
but it's a lose, not just for the parents or the children.
be very
But they
much.
sit there and they agree to these things because they think they have experts there and they're trusting them. And I'm not saying, make it harder to get divorced either. I'm just saying don't make them beat each other up.
Yeah, because then
Right.
it's hard to overcome and
Yes.
do the thing.
That when you put parents' rights before kids' rights or children's rights, that you're not putting the best interests of the child first.
Well, that may be in terms of what psychologists say or so-called experts say, but that doesn't mean that we're doing what's best for parents and their rights to bring up the children, their children the way they see fit. I mean, if you say, okay, take all these psychological studies and say this is what's best for kids and this is what's best for kids, where does that all come from? I mean,
what I want to say about that is the most well-adjusted children that I've seen in my practice or in the families of the couples that I see are the ones where the parents have been active in making sure that both parents are a part of their children's lives. Those kids are more well-adjusted. The parents are more well-adjusted. There's less stress in both households when that happens.
Well, sure, that's nice when both parents get along.
I'm not talking about getting along. I'm talking about respecting each other's rights as parents.
And even if
But
you
they're
don't
mad
respect
at
the
each
parent,
other.
respect the principal.
Yes.
And respect your child
Yes.
enough to know that your child needs that relationship.
They
Even
don't-
if you hate that
They don't
person.
have to
Doesn't
parent the
matter.
same way. They don't have to have the same values. They just have to respect that that child needs that person in their life, period.
well, that's right. And-
Women couldn't vote. Women gained the right to vote, and then they gained equal rights in a number of areas. And if you're old enough to remember the 70s and the Equal Rights Amendment, this was a big deal. It was relatively recently. But it went beyond that. And instead of gaining equal rights and fighting for, we want to have equal rights and both share, what it came down to was we want equal rights to take from the other side. We want equal rights to be in control and to take the child from the father instead of the father taking the child from us. And what we need to get to is, okay, we can get past all those cultural wars and say both parents have rights to be parents. The both male and female parents are good influences on the children. The children benefit from that. So we need to look at how do we get down to true equality.
Is that the person is so hurt because they do love that person so much, right? Because it
We
gets
hurt
that
those we
old
love the
survival brain, right, kicked in. It's like the more afraid I get, the worse I'm going to act.
Well, that's right, and I think what we're talking about is safety. If you feel safe
Yes.
in the outcome, okay, if a husband and wife, let's just talk about husbands and wives for the moment. Husband and wife know that they're only going to be able to fight over certain things when they get divorced, right? They're going to feel a little safer.
Hear fresh, new
Because
perspectives
part
that
of
truly
safety-
allow parents to keep their child out of the middle and money in their pockets.
Why does there have to be one parent that's basically primary, that has more rights than the other? Where does that presumption come from? Because the Supreme Court says that the presumption is that fit parents make the best interest decisions for their children, and that courts can't overturn that just.
And I really think, and I really want to make this point, is we will look back at this time in history and we are going to say that we have acted barbaric.
Tune in each week as experts from around the country clue you in on how our family court system has failed us and how you can make a difference.